Lewis was born in London to a good family. He grew up in a middle-class family with both parents, but as a child Lewis was a rebel. He used to do petty crimes for fun and giggles until one day one of his crimes went wrong and he ended up getting 15 years in prison. Lewis was a small guy at only 5'5" in height, so he knew he would need to watch his back in prison because other guys might try to take advantage of him and bully him. Lewis was going to a UK prison, so he thought he didn't have to worry about getting turned out in prison because he thought that stuff like that didn't happen in the UK and was pretty much only an American thing. Once in prison, Lewis got put in a cell with a guy called Tyrone. Tyrone was a 6-foot black guy doing 14 years in prison. Lewis knew something was different about this experience because after the guard closed the cell doors in the cell, Tyrone said to Lewis, "You are a beautiful supermodel." Lewis said, "What are you talking about? I am not a supermodel." Tyrone said, "Outside you are nothing, but in prison you are worth more than anything. White boys like you are worth more than food, worth more than water. In prison you are worth more than gold itself, so from today going forward you are my new girlfriend." Lewis said, "No way, I'm not gay." Tyrone said, "I'm not gay either, but this is prison, so bring your big booty over here and give me some chan. Tyrone was laying on the bottom bunk while Lewis was standing in the middle of the cell. Tyrone said, "Come over here and sit on my tings." Lewis said to Tyrone, "You don't have to do this. We are in the UK. Things like this don't happen." Tyrone started to laugh and said, "This is the story we sell to women like you. How else would we get you to come to prison? If you knew girls like you were getting turned out in prison, you wouldn't come." And in that moment Lewis knew he was in trouble because the cell door was closed and he had no way of getting out. Lewis said, "If you touch me I will scream." That's when Tyrone got up and said, "Now you have got me angry," and then backhanded Lewis across the face. Tyrone hit Lewis so hard that Lewis flew across the room and hit the wall. This was the first time in Lewis's life he saw this type of fear. Lewis was a small guy and had never been hit this hard before. Tyrone said to Lewis, "From this day going forward you are my woman. You only talk to me and you are not allowed to speak to any other prisoner. I speak on your behalf. Am I clear on this?" Lewis said, "Yes, sir. Now that I have made myself clear, going forward you are going to give up your booty cheeks anytime I want it. I don't care if you are sick or got a headache, you will give up your cheeks anytime, and if you're asleep I will just take your cheeks when you are sleeping. Now get on my bed and lay down and put your legs behind your head. I want to look at your pretty supermodel face when I'm blowing your back out." Lewis started to plead with Tyrone not to do this. Lewis offered Tyrone money. Lewis said, "My parents can pay you 20,000 by the end of the week. I will speak to my dad to send payment to you." Tyrone just laughed and said to Lewis, "You really just don't get it, do you? In jail you are a supermodel. Right now every single guy in the entire prison is waiting to get you alone so they can bend you over and bust your cheeks, and I have you in my cell right now all alone. This is like a winning lottery ticket for me. I have you all to myself. Non-stop cheeks busting. Your dad's money means nothing to me in prison. I would rather bust your cheeks instead because I know your cheeks will feel good, and after I cream pie you I will feel so much better. Prison is hard, so busting women's cheeks like you helps me to take my mind off my long prison sentence. Lewis then said 250,000. I will get my dad to pay you £250,000.